Good evening, folks. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is the first week of February. We just finished the month. As you know, last week was my last interview for January, and this is my first interview for February. I have a lovely lady right here, and she reached out to me when she saw one of my videos. As you know, I do a thing called comparison series, where I take ladies in the sports and compare them, and talk about them, give details. And she saw the video because she's also on YouTube, and she liked it. So I reached out to her. I said, you know what? If you like, we want you to share your story and tell about yourself and how you get to the sport of muscle. So we have here the lovely Miss Toni McMurtre. She is all the way from the Lone Star State of Texas. The stars are bright and shining bright deep in the heart of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas, yes, sir.
So, ma'am, can you tell us how you get to this sport of muscle, of bodybuilding, and share your story with us and my followers and my subscribers?
All right, so I was a cheerleader and a track runner in high school, and just athletic, love sports. And as you evolve through life, there's not always sports for adults. Never really a softball player, and there's softball for adults. My hand-eye is not so great. So I went into fitness in the 90s. It was fun for me. I used to cheer and I loved it. And so was a muscular kid, and running track rounded me out my shoulders and my biceps and gave me some legs. And I was always interested in bodybuilding growing up. But then as I became an adult, it became a little bit more realistic. Well, in the 90s, there was fitness or there was bodybuilding, and I really wasn't ready for bodybuilding. And again, as an ex-cheerleader, fitness was kind of made sense to go into, and competed for the NPC in fitness, and it was so much fun. And then I had my first son in 1995, and competed after that, and then had 3 more kids and kind of slowed down competing. Actually stopped competing for about 9 years, and came back in 2008, which is why you can't find anything if you're looking and you're like, what happened in all these years? I had babies. And so after my 4th son was born, I started training again, and it's a love. It really is. But Figure was born, and I was excited about that because Figure wasn't around in the 90s. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have to flip anymore. That's awesome. And so tried Figure and just got my ass beat. Oh my goodness. It was just a beating in Figure. I just think the way my body translates on stage and Figure's like a champagne glass. And I'm a little boxy for Figure. So I worked with a trainer, the late great Herman Steele, and Herman would tell me, I'm bringing a knife to a gunfight and I need to switch to bodybuilding. And he would say, your body wants to bodybuild. And I would say, that's okay. And so I would just kind of get smacked around in Figure for a little bit, and then finally said, okay, fine. I was going into an Oklahoma show, and I didn't have my fitness stuff ready. And so I did lightweight bodybuilding and got a top call out. I got the first call out, and I was like, what? Because I just wasn't used to that. It felt so great. Oh my goodness. And so kind of the love for bodybuilding was born. And lightweight bodybuilding cap is 115. So I went to Masters Nationals in 2015 as a lightweight bodybuilder, and I won my class. But in bodybuilding, you have to win the overall, and I'm not winning against a heavyweight bodybuilder. So I went back the next year. Women's Physique was born. Actually, Women's Physique was born before I went to Nationals, but I was excited the year that I switched to it, and it just seemed to be a great fit. And won my class and turned pro in 2016, and then competed 2017 for the first year as a Women's Physique pro. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, because Physique's only been around for, I think, the last 4 or 5 years. No, it came in about 2012. So at least
2012. It's been a minute. Yeah,
almost like 10 years. And it was the vision that I think a lot of people, like me personally, as a bodybuilding fan, I called it watered down women's bodybuilding. I'm gonna tell you,
we are just as special. We're just different.
Yeah, and even now with this division, you started seeing like it's starting to meld a little bit. You were on stage with ladies that I've talked to recently. I did an interview with a lady that you competed with, Miss Robin Mays.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a great lady. She
She is
really got me
awesome.
since I was great. And the sport has evolved over the years. I remember when it was just exclusively bodybuilding. If you can't think about it, bodybuilding's kind of like almost like bikini. And
Hmm.
then I think by the 70s, the ladies came up the high heels. It was like almost like figure. And then you came with the Rick McLesh era, and then you came up with Corey Everson, and then like every sport keeps evolving. And like I said, you one of the ladies who had started. What, I want to settle down. And one of my kids, you have your kids, and then let's think about ladies like yourself. You're a special breed of women who come to sport. Raise your children. Then you have to, you want to compete. You want to stay focused, and you have like kids out here screaming and hollering. You don't just say, "Hey, I'm on whey powder." Then you sometimes you're on your prep. You're like, "Ah!"
Mhm. Yes, that's so funny. Yeah, I've been told that I'm not so nice. I feel like I'm getting nicer as I age in the sport. They do not think that. Yeah, they they'll say, "When is the show? What's our time? How long are you going to be mean?" So funny. I don't feel like I'm mean. I just feel like I'm a little bit less patient than I typically am. That patience kind of goes away after you diet for so long.
Yeah. Well, knowing me myself being a son of being raised by my mom, we boys we love our mothers. You're our first loves, and we support you in anything. But sometimes we have our own lives. We got to do own things. We got to do. Now, how old are your sons? For the range from your sons?
My oldest is about to be 28 on Wednesday. Yay, happy birthday, Matt. And then my second is turning 21 this year. My third is actually about to be 19. And then number four is 16 years old. We
Oh
are getting
yeah,
there. We are getting there.
yeah, yeah. And how long you and your husband been together?
We dated in high school. We've been together forever and ever. Yeah.
Oh, you high school true love. So sometimes the relationships don't last long, but it's good. And when you decided to switch and start doing this, more of the, I think, more a little bit more muscular division. What was his mindset of how he feel like my wife's gonna be huger than me?
Oh, he is on board 100%. He loves the sport as much as I do. The fitness years were fun. He actually learned how to cheer partner stunt with me when I was doing fitness in the 90s. So he's a pretty patient guy. He's fun. And then he digs it. He was a power lifter, loves bodybuilding, and just again to watch the evolution of the sport and to watch someone prep and to prep with someone. I mean, he's my partner to prep through it, to diet through it, to live through it. It's wild to watch your body and your transformation and to watch your partner. It's awesome. It's awesome. And every show, and I mean, I'm older, but every show I'm like, wow, wow, look what the human body is capable of doing. And again, man, I had 4 babies come out of this body. So to be able to stand up on this stage is just a blessing. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and like I said, you like ladies like yourself who get into that level, you hit that muscle maturity. I mean, you just hold your own with some of the much younger competitors. And like I said, you also do masters. As you know, this year they announced that they're going to have masters coming up. I think this summer, and it's going to be all the way in Romania. I said,
Yes.
why don't you just have it right in with the Olympia? I mean, why you got to go clear across the other side of the world? Because I remember back in the day they did have masters, but it was for men. It was back in the '90s. Men
Yes.
like Lou Ferrigno and also Vince Taylor, a couple of guys back in the
Vince,
day.
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was awesome. I'm excited that they're bringing it back. I'm excited that they're bringing it back for all categories. I mean, that's amazing. It's neat because I've been a bodybuilding fan my whole life. So it's neat to get to see and do things that I've watched and read about forever. And Masters Olympia is awesome that it's coming back. And again, to do it across the categories, how cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I say yeah, because I know some ladies I've been talking to just very excited because it gives opportunity. And sometimes like I know some of them want to go to the real Olympia, but it's hard now that they changed. They dropped the whole point system, and you have to win a show. With your division, there's a lot more shows compared
Have you
to
seen
body.
these humans I'm on stage with? Have you seen what these people look like? They are awesome, awesome specimens of life. So when you go, I got to go win a show, and you look at these girls, you're like, are they offering masters at this show?
Well, I went to my first bodybuilding show in Savannah last year,
Oh,
and just to be there and to see, because like when I was coming up, bodybuilding most of the time you can watch it on television. You can watch it on
yeah.
ESPN and Fox Sports, and you can watch it on some of the network television. But the last few years, before it's been pushed out, you can watch on ESPN now. You watch cornhole and poker.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is wild though, because you can find it online. I remember in the 90s when you couldn't. I remember when Ronnie won Olympia. My husband and I were in this little apartment in Arlington, desperately trying to find the information. I want to say it was kind of one of the first years of the internet. God, I sound old, but and we were so shocked because again, having access to pro bodybuilders' lives on the internet was the coolest thing. Where now in 2023, it's expected. You can get on people's IG, you can get on people's, and you can see their personal lives. You can see pictures with their family. It's totally different. It's totally different than it used to be.
Yeah, because when I was like say, we lived out in the country for a long time. We didn't have cable or stuff like that till we moved them to town. And then I remember we used to back in the day when you have the internet, you had to have you had to like wait. You can't wait. So you can't plug it into where the phone's on because
mom said,
dial-up. Mom said, what you do? I said, Mom, on the computer. Turn that shit off because I want to be on the phone. Yeah, and then and now they have. I think they went from dial-up to what was that? Two-way, and then now I got Wi-Fi with
DSL and
I had DSL too, and now I have Wi-Fi because I'm like use the cable, and technology has evolved. I mean, it's just over to its time. Now, folks, the lovely Miss McMurtre has spent time out here and to conversate with us. If you want to shout out to her, her information, her social media information in the description. Check her out. But guys, and this is I tell guys out here, and you girls, I know she's a lovely lady. She's a wife. She has 4 boys and a husband. Guys, don't do this. And I keep telling y'all, but you're not going to stop doing it. No D pics. Stop it. God. Don't do it.
Holy mackerel.
I talk to some ladies. They tell me the weirdest stuff. Like guys be talking about, you know what? You're a man. Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, they say, "Hi, I think you're cute. Can you be my girlfriend?"
That's hilarious. That's scary.
Yeah. I mean, one time I had somebody told me that one time it was. After a while, what they did was a guy sent him the D pics. Then they take she catalyzed them, and then when they send one, she sent one back. So that's
America.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're gonna show some pictures from her social media description on her IG. You want to check it out? Check her out too. Here's, as you know, she's also a coach and a trainer. She's been busy because she leading class, gymnastics. I mean, that's a lot. You have a handful.
Yes. Yeah. I last year, I was lucky enough to become one of the new owners of Stroud's Fitness, and Stroud's is the home of Johnny Jackson and Reese Branch and Trish there for years and years, and honestly, you look up and you see world record holding powerlifters that live there, and strongmen, and again, Kelvin Tatum lives there, and Prince Harrison is moving one of his shops to us. It's very exciting, but to be able to do my cheer. I do cheer and tumbling. And of course, I'm a personal trainer, and I used to do contest prep. I don't really do that anymore. That is very time consuming if you're competing yourself. So, but I am a personal trainer. And again, to get to be at Stroud's and to do it in this place that I've called home since 1996, it's pretty cool. And so all that you're looking at now is me working with my cheerleaders, getting them ready for their school tryouts and getting them ready for their competition.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Like teaching the youth, and Stroud, you've been with that for a long time. Yes, and also, you have a real passion for this.
Thank you,
because you're being athletic. You teach boys and girls.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
I used to do little cartwheels when I was younger, but then when I put on weight, I couldn't do those things anymore. This is like your students must be proud of you. You have a great teacher, and do they follow you on social media, especially?
I think they do, and it's funny when I get close to competing, they're so kind of tolerant, and that sounds really silly, but when you lean out, you don't really, you look different. You know what I'm saying? And for these teenagers to be so loving and so supportive is great, because again, a female bodybuilder or a female physique pro is interesting to have spot you when you're tumbling, and these girls don't even really see that. That sounds funny, but they don't. It's like they might notice it the first time they come in, but after that they don't really pay attention to it. Some of the parents are caught a little off guard by it. Kind of funny.
Yeah, you got cheerleader skills. Here we have also the Iron Empire Strouds.
Yes, sir.
And here's your last show. You were at the Atlantic Coast show. There's you right
There's
here.
Robin. Yay.
Robin in the middle. I think who's that at the? I think who's that at the end right there? I'm trying to
You
see
know,
the.
honestly, I'd have to this was my first time meeting some of these girls. I had met Robin. We competed at Tampa together. And then I met a couple of girls at Texas last year. So, I competed in 2017, but then took a few years off coaching high school gymnastics and then came back in 21. So it's taking time off from this sport at this age is tough. I need to stop taking time off. So I think I'm going to stick around for a few years to just keep improving. I started working with Mela Ash this year, and I worked with Mela going into Fort Lauderdale, which is the show you're looking at now, and just felt so complete, felt so taken care of. I will never leave her. I know that sounds funny, but you just, as an athlete, you really need that constant contact with your trainer, and she is absolutely out of this world. And you're always checking in, and you always know what you're going to eat and what you're going to do. And so we're actually getting ready to get ready for the Optimum in May in Shreveport. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, and right here, one lady congratulates you. Saying fantastic is one Miss Leah Denny, and
Lovely.
Leah Denny, like there, it lives in Texas.
Leah and I are great friends. Matter of fact, my cheerleaders will see her and think she's me and call her Coach T. No
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, because you if you look at except for the hair, y'all have that same face in the line. Your smile's about the same. Yeah, y'all look. I mean, I'll look at your pictures. Y'all look kind of similar right here.
Matter of fact, you know what? If you scroll up a second, there's a picture of Leah and I in there, and we're standing next to each other at Johnny Jackson's show. Scroll down. I'm sorry. Go where you were going. Scroll back down, and in a little bit more. Okay, now right there, click Johnny and I.
Which one, Johnny?
Go up one. Johnny Jackson.
Right here?
No, yeah, click that guy.
Okay.
And then scroll to the right. There's the great Johnny Jackson, everyone. That's awesome. known him forever and ever.
And that's your sister right here.
That's my sister, yes.
Y'all look like y'all could be three sisters. I mean, it's just y'all have that same smile. If y'all anything, if you're not of the, y'all better ask, say, who's my daddy?
It's fun. Leah trained out of Stroud's for a while, and so did my sister Nancy. And it's great to have everyone there. So I knew Leah when she was first starting in the NPC world. So it was great friend.
And that's your boy right there.
That's number 3. Yes, super exciting. He competed this summer. He did the Johnny Jackson Classic. So awesome. And I know he's a classic fan, so he's gearing up for this summer. Super excited.
Oh, he wants to be the next bum stand. There's your boys. All your boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the oldest from the youngest.
Yes.
She's proud. You're a proud mother. And like I said, folks, this is a picture of her when she was competing in back figure. Wow.
Yes, those were figure days.
I remember when fitness they had like 4 color codes. I think they had the 1-piece, the 2-piece, the gown, and then you had the
black suit round in fitness when you had mandatories and like a cat suit, and then they had a fitness round backstage where you had to row like crazy to see who could row the most, and then you had to do your routine at pre-judging and the night show. Fitness girls are the toughest humans on that stage. Fitness is tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if anybody can jump around, do what y'all do for, I got hats off to you. Now, folks, one thing I'm going to show you is a video that she saw. That is the video of my comparison with her and one lady, Haley Perry. I'm going to post it here. I'm going to show it to y'all. Y'all could, it's like I said, I make these comparison videos where I talk about these ladies. I tell what information I can gather about them, tell their stories and how they. Give me a second. I think I'm going to pull it up, and we will talk about. And she saw it. She really liked it. And it's good when I make something like that for some of these ladies because it's just gives people understanding of these ladies in sport of bodybuilding. Most people don't know. Basically, they know what they see about women in bodybuilding, But this is where I give these ladies respect because it's a tough sport, and to do what you do, to get up in the morning, to train, to work out, to eat and diet, and then also the expense of being a competitive bodybuilder. You got to think about it. You go in, you do you got to do a show, and you got to make sure you got your posing suit. And also you're doing masters, in which masters you have to pay the people. Because I learned this from a lady who I did an interview at back. Monica Perez told me it was last year. She told me, where she does masters. Say, wait, you do masters? So they say, oh, we have to pay. Say, what? You have to pay?
That's new. Yeah, that hasn't always been. Yeah, I think, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it alleviates everybody and kind of narrows down people that are a little bit more serious. I think. I don't know. I know that it hasn't always been that way. So it was new in 20. I know at Optimum in 21 I didn't, and then this year I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So
Yeah, it to me, if you're paying, and see the thing about masters, it's not an Olympic qualifier.
right,
So to me, I talked about this once. I did IG where which what happens now because they cut out the points qualification. They should do like this. If you pay like your amateurs, they should do this. They should have like, okay, this I know there's like I think you got 35, over 35, 45, and 55 up to 50 to 55. And sometimes I know one lady, Lenora Grayson, she did like both women's physique and women's
uh,
bodybuilding, and she was also did I think 40 to 55. But then as long as you have at least two or three competitors enough, you should have like just like in an amateur show, have an overall and see who should get an opportunity to compete at the Olympia. You think that's
right.
fair?
Well, I thought that's the way they were going to do the Masters. Olympia was from Masters shows, but I don't understand. But I think it's interesting. Again, to me, I do Masters. I just place much better, and I feel like I'm not quite where I need to be. So I'm still getting experience, but I'm not it's again, it's a beating, to prepare so hard and so long to not get a call out or to tie for 16th with 16 other girls, or to place 15th and be thrilled that you placed and you didn't tie for 16th. And the quality is phenomenal. And so I think it's neat that they have the Masters shows. Anyway they have them, I think it's great. So I'm interested. I thought that the Masters Olympia would be a qualification, but it was interesting to say send in your story and send in your history and send in your competitive resume.
Hmm. Right here we have here my man Mike Biggs Boxer. He just had a live stream last night. It says all the ways George Page. Thank you, man, for supporting me. I support him. He talks about boxing, and he's been a big fan of boxing. Boxing
Yep.
kind of off my opinion. Also, we have here bodybuilding fan number one. Should
Yeah.
be a good one. Appreciate that bodybuilding fan one. Now I'm going to show you the video of me of what I made of Toni and Haley. It's right here. And it's just like I said. I think it's a great story. As I told you, maybe
Love it.
YouTube. Well, folks, this is a new week, and we got a few more days left of November before we start getting into December, where it is time for Christmas. Christmas, Christmas. The old Cheatmut song she did as a kid, it's a glad bit. And she turned pro this year. We have here Mrs. Toni McMurtre and Mrs. Haley Perry. Now, Miss Murtry started out originally in fitness in about the early 2000s. And then later on, she switched from fitness to bodybuilding. And then she eventually switched to physique once the division was created. And with Haley details, this one, I would say Haley. I give it to Haley right here. Here we have the rear double. From the back, legs are pretty amazing. Overall look, definition wise, the muscle development, you really want to see those, even in physique, you want to see those full round muscle bellies they talk about. And if I give it to anybody, I give the slight edge here to Toni. If I give it to about size and better projection here, I have to give it to Haley. Now here we have this in the back, the glutes and the thighs and quads. I think honestly, I have to give this one here to Toni. Like I said, they have great passion for the sport. I think either can have future. I know Toni has done some master shows. She does at Tampa. She had a master show, and also I think she was in Savannah, I believe, if I remember. And Haley, like I said, she also did Tampa this year, and I remember she competed back in 2021 in the Tampa.
Like I said, folks, that is my StreamYard, my as I call it, my comparison videos. And it was like I said, I was trying to get as much information about you because finding interviews and looking at social media when I do this because sometimes I want to make sure I get the right information. A while back, I did a one last year. I did one, but later her name is Shamika Cash, and I called her Simika Cash. I said fucking thing. She posted on her social media where I did the thing. I reached out to her when we did an interview. And, she retired about a couple years ago, but she came back and she competed at the Rising Phoenix in women's figure in both open and masters. She's a great lady. We used to keep good contact with her. And what I did is, I remember just recently I saw one of my comparison videos where Jenny Feldman, which you did Tampa with, she saw it and she liked it. What I did a one between her and Whitney Armstrong that won the Atlantic show where you were at. I know one lady, she told me when I started doing the videos, she told me, George, I like the fact that you don't over sexualize it.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Again, being a mom, it's freaky. It's bad enough. And again, the pictures you take are absolutely up to you.
What is your picture? I just taking this picture.
No. I mean, like as a competitor, and so for me, I mean, all classes are digitalized, and I've been competing for years, and so for my kids to be in second grade and put my name in, I'm glad that things that come up aren't like, whoa. Some of them are, but I mean that's just because it's bodybuilding. But it's nice that you don't do that. I don't think I would have done it if you did, because you kind of put yourself in this spot, and that's uncool, uncomfortable.
Well, I got the idea by another guy. His name is Mark Max Muscle. He was mostly doing the guys, but then I was inspired by it. He was starting to do women for a good while, but and I started doing while his doing the guys got me inspired because I don't follow the guys that much. I like watching his videos. And he started doing the women. I said, you know what? He gave me the idea also to do the women. But then eventually he started to stop doing the women because he said he was losing subscribers because the guys, a lot of the people don't like even divisions like physique or even figure. They don't like those women. They done part with bikini or wellness or even fitness somewhat, but they don't like the women who get too muscular in their mindset.
Yeah, which I mean, I think that's funny because bikini. Of course, every division evolves over time, and everything evolves into the space and size it's going to be, and it's interesting to watch wellness because they are muscular girls. So it's when they talk about muscle category, I'm like, I want to be a wellness girl. Good grief, they're awesome. So, but they are round and they are muscular. So, I mean, to me, that's what I love. I love the roundness of bodybuilding. I mean, again, look at Andrea, look at Mayla, look at these beautiful bodies, and then women's physique. If you line I sent you a picture of all of the champions lined up.
Yeah,
they are very different bodies. I know that if you look at them individually, you go, man, Sid, she's huge. But if you put her next to a physique person, she's not. So it's interesting. It's perspective.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because like I said, I like people like Missy Trescott. She's
beast. Yeah,
she's tough. I mean, I know when last time she competed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying Melissa. I'm sorry, not Missy.
I'm Melissa Tyke. Melissa Tyke. Yeah, Melissa.
Melissa Tyke. Missy's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Melissa, she is huge. I mean, I know a guy. Him and some other people did a thing for Kaspari, and he was there. She was doing like a powerlifting contest. He came in second, and her and people like Ashley Jones, they're starting to get closer to. I know Ashley was a figure competitor, and and then she switched over to physique.
I did Texas with her, and she's got a beautiful body. She's got a beautiful physique. Yeah, I mean, they all do. Every IFBB pro does, but Ashley, she was. I did the Texas show, and you're like 2 years, not this year, but last year. Wow, she just looks great.
Yeah, she did Tampa. She took second. I think she was the top 5 of that show. She bounced back, won Texas, and then I remember I was watching when she was on IG. Said that when she was with the Olympia, that she got sick, and that was her first. That was going to be her debut at the Olympia in women's physique, but and that was bad. But then she popped back. She wins Chicago, then turns around, takes second to Melissa. I think she took third at the at Texas.
Texas saw her there. She looked great.
Yeah, and and then she didn't crack the top 10 at the Olympia. I think Melissa kind of slipped down because she was number 6 last year, but took 8. And then Sarah Vilgas, she kind of, didn't come in this condition like she used to.
I don't know. Sarah's pretty crazy. I mean, Sarah's conditions when Sarah's not conditioned. She's in condition all the time. So I just think it was. I think she and don't get. I think again that the top five are absolutely amazing. I think she came in, but I think Natalia came in too, and I think that the winner won that day, and I think it's awesome to have the competition that they have. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think well, Natalia was busy. She was doing like 5, 6 shows after Olympia. I mean, I was talking with Robin about it. She said, "Well, if you're going to come in, you have to be at your best. If you want to be competitive, you have to be competitive." She told me that because I feel like some women, I think some girls I was talking to say, and I say, "Why that bitch is coming to the show?" I mean, and they didn't feel like, "Hey, you already get your qualification." It's like, it's like you already got your shot. Why are you stepping taking my shot? But it's about
but you gotta remember, man, these are pro athletes, and just because I have mine, I want to, how many pro wins at the end of your career, and this is a living. They are making money on this, so to say, hey, you've made enough money or you have enough wins. I mean, is she taking? No, baby, they got to beat her to get that qualification. So I don't think she's taking it. I think she's a competitor, and I think in this sport to say you already have yours, I'm like, this is a competitive pro sport. So that's kind of tough to say you already have yours. You think you can beat her, you come and try to.
Yeah. It's that I would say, I got mine, you gotta get yours. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but like I say, as we call it, it is bodybuilding is a sport, but most people don't see it as more of the typical sports like football, baseball, basketball. It's just it's seen as a fringe sport. In my conversation with people, it's more of a hobby sport. It's a sport where you put more into it and get out of it. And the thing with y'all women, you don't get much out of it. You just recently saw Arnold just shot up the prize money for men's bodybuilding over at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. He kicked out bodybuilding, kicked out physique, just kicked out figure, even kicked out 212. So all that's left is men's open, men's classic, men's physique, and the tits and ass division that is bikini and wellness. Now, as your mind says, competitive, I think a lot of ladies say that, hey, the Arnold's a big show because next to the Olympia, it's the biggest show. But then you seem like even though you do have more shows compared to women's bodybuilding, your stages is getting really small and smaller bit by bit.
Well, it is interesting to kind of go, okay, let's look at the year. And I used to joke because I'd pull it out and I'd go, okay, I can go to Canada or Romania, and I would just kind of like chuckle, like we're in Texas, we're in the middle of the United States. It's just funny how you're like, what are you? So I'm excited to have a show in Texas. Texas is a beating though. Texas is like, and don't get me wrong, the best of the best show up everywhere, but Texas, you're like, ooh, okay, it's a little bit more of a beating of some of these other shows again that offer masters and give that other category. Is nice. And then Louisiana Shreveport's nice, but everything else, is you've got to fly to it, which goes into the cost of it. You're paying for your flight and hotel and, food while you're there and everything like any NPC national event, like anything, any event anywhere you're doing it. So it does get pricey. It does get expensive. Just again, your hair and makeup, your tan, there's about $500 right there. Let alone the suit and
Yeah, because I know somebody said the suit could come anything up from $500 to about $1,000. Yeah, and then you got to look at the guys. All they got to do is put on tanning and the banana hammock, and that's it. Or board shorts. While you ladies, you have to wear makeup, jewelry, hair done, makeup.
Makeup's expensive, man. Makeup's expensive. Hair's expensive. I mean, hair depending on what you're gonna do, but makeup's expensive. The whole process is. But again, to live that clean for that long, the eating to go through that much clean food. I don't know the last time you checked the price of eggs, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just the cost of everything. That's why one thing I think that should happen, especially where NPC and IFBB make a lot of money off your competitors, is that I think it should be more benefits for you. Should be
I will say in Masters though, they do have a prize. They do have prize money for Masters, which is nice. So I don't think they would if you weren't paying to be there, but you paying allows that. And I think that's kind of cool. Um, again, to be in a master's category and to look down and to see 3 or 4 checks on the floor, you're like, that's cool. It's neat. Again, I don't think that it would be available if we weren't paying into it. Just puts more funds into it. And these productions are great. Like the shows that I've done in the past couple of years are fantastic shows. The productions are great. The shows are big and grand, and you feel so taken care of by the IFBB and the NPC, because they are at NPC shows, and you feel so welcome, and it's really awesome. It's really cool.
That's good that you guys welcome like that. And, and just bodybuilding, even though it's a small sport, it's a large community. And we talk about Texas. Texas is becoming a mecca, like you said. Mila Ash is there. Mona Persolet, Leah Denny. There's a couple ladies I've become friendly with who I did interviews with. There's Brittany Brooks, Shay Machada, also a lady by the name of Jamie Savage. A couple of ladies who I've done interviews, become friendly with. And, also, I think a lot of competitors would like to have more shows closer to them. I just recently talked to a lady who's an amateur. She told me that Nationals is coming to Texas.
Yes. Holy crap. How awesome is that? It is, 20 minutes from my house. So exciting. I did Nationals in Miami in 2011, and the amount of humans that were brought to that city was just phenomenal. So I think it'll be great for us to have it here. And that is so exciting to have that many competitors be in our area. So nice.
Yeah. And then you just heard that the Olympia is going back to Orlando.
I saw that.
And I think what it was that Vegas was not good. I was talking to some ladies. A lot of these ladies got sick. A lot of people got sick. I mean, I was, I think I think competing with Amy Richardson. She was there, and that's when some believe she got the pneumonia there. Like, and I know one lady said she had recovered pneumonia. I did an interview with Dan Willis, the like that Christmas Eve. That was pretty much a week after. She was still sick, but she was a trooper. She wanted to do the interview. And and I think it's a good move to move it back to Florida. Like even right here, like I live in North Carolina, and the weather don't get too bad. You might every now and then you might have a little ice storm every now and then, or we had snow last year we had snow. It snowed a couple of days back to back, but it don't last long. This is one of my characters. Like one of my favorite characters. He likes to just quote like this is the other guy I like to bring in and say everybody. Go crazy. Like, you live up north when it snows like a feet. No one blinks an eye, but down south it has an inch. Everybody goes crazy. Yeah. And I think was it last year? Last year you had a nasty snowstorm in Texas. It was probably the worst you ever had in history.
Yeah, it was bad. I grew up in New York and I moved here in '85, and we'll have like it'll snow on a day and then the next day it'll be 70, and I dig that because again, growing up in the Northeast, you just freeze your ass off. So I like this weather. And last year or 2 years ago, it was like snowmageddon. And it's this big ice. It's like we're just not prepared for it. And yeah, everyone was like trapped in their houses for like a week, 10 days. Some people didn't have water. It was horrible. We just had a big ice storm last couple of days. Again, very unlike us to have it, and it was a great day today. It was beautiful, so it's funny.
Yeah, I know. I follow Jessica Padilla Reyes. She showed on her IG where her car was frozen over.
Yes, yeah, and I believe she's out in Destination, which is not too far from me. It's funny because when we get iced in, and you get kind of like it's hard to function. It's hard to get out, and I know it's just a little bit of snow. You're like, no, it's ice, and you're sliding into the car next to you. So
yeah, I remember we lived out of the country and we had a bad snowstorm, a lot of ice. We trapped in the house. We look at each other, and my mother, she raised me, and I had 6 brothers and sisters plus 2 nieces and nephews. We all lived in this like a 4-bedroom house, and and sometimes we had a wood burning stove, and make sure to keep the stove burning. And then sometimes you can't get out of where and make sure you have food in the house. You say, "What you looking for? What you looking for?" You get tired of it, But it's just life can be difficult, and like I said, and being a competitor, there's a lot of stressors. Like dealing with peoples, and you know, there's times when as a mom you go to events with your sons, and then everybody's looking and say, "Is that what's your son's oldest, your youngest son's name again?"
Mike.
Mike. Is that Mike's mom? She's looking buff, and then you have the housewife say, "Yeah, that what Tony is like." Show that, and the
That's
husband say,
gross. Yeah.
"Yeah," and the husband say like, "Is that Tony?" I say, "I think so." And they'd be like, "No, no, honey, I don't think Tony's attractive." I say, like, say, "Hey, Tony, I've been drinking about you every night." And your husband, they won't say it for your husband, 'cause I saw a picture. Your husband's a big dude.
Your husband's a big dude.
Yeah, I said, "Nah, man, I ain't gonna say nothing, Tony. Like, man, I don't see nothing, man. I'm blind. Yeah. But like I said, I saw a while back Whitney Jones was doing an interview. How she was on Fix, with her and I think it was Whitney Jones, Wendy Fortino, and another lady, and Minda Murray. How she was talking about how when she was going to an event, and the housewives were saying something like, "Said, I don't do this for you. I do this for me."
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, like that. Like I'll actually say, and I've said it a couple of times, that as you're rolling into a show, if I'm in the store and I don't get your gross looks, then I'm like, I'm not ready. It's almost like once I get the I'm like, okay, we're right on track. That's right where we need to be. So it is. It's interesting just living life in this sport. I missed my 18-year-old's birthday dinner because of the place they went was like one of these Brazilian, like all you can eat meats, and I was like, I don't need to be there. And that sounds really weak, but I was like, I just don't need to be there. And so I wound up working. I've got 2 February kids. And so I cheer a lot in February, and I wound up cheering and missing the dinner just so frankly, I didn't have to sit and fight it. That sounds horrible. But 4 birthdays plus your husband, plus a year, that many birthdays a year is a lot of cake. I'm a sugarholic. And if I can get away from it and stay away from it, I'm okay. But my off season, I'm like, just stay away from it. So it is kind of this up and down, like not that it's tough, but you got to want it to win it, baby.
Yeah, it's like I gotta say, I'm being a fat man myself, and I used to be bit. I was like before I was taking care of my mom before she passed. I was nearly 500 pounds, and I said, I gotta make some changes. I made changes. Right now I'm at like under 400, and and it's tough. Sometimes one day I was out. I have to work out. And I said I was hungry. I was, because you burn your metabolism. And then there was this Chinese place. It be calling. I'm like Cookie, New Jack City, man. It be calling me, man. It be calling my name. Be calling my name, man. Be calling my name. And and it's just that's the thing about food is a necessary part of the bodybuilding world, but you have to make those healthy choices.
Oh, God, yeah.
I know when I talk to some ladies, like sometimes they might have like I know one lady, she told me that she had a friend had a wedding. She wanted to go. So what she did was she packed her own food, and she ate the food that she brought, and the food was there. I know they sliced the cake, and she said, I think she said she took a slice of cake, she saved it. So she said when she was after her last show, that was her meal. Yeah, it was a meal. What was you like when you do a show? The last show at the Mid Atlantic in Miami. What was the thing you ate when you got off stage? Your first thing you ate off stage?
In Fort Lauderdale, we went and had pizza. Actually, right when I got off stage. Okay, so backstage I had some like my carving up stuff was sweet for Fort Lauderdale. So I think I finished. I think I had a payday. I think I ate a payday. But we went to a cute little pizza joint in Fort Lauderdale. It was fun.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Savannah, I got to meet Shauna Boswell. I did a video or interview with Shauna a while back, and she got off stage and said, "You know what? I gave her a Snickers and said, I'm eating this later."
I am. When I did Tampa, and then when I got home from Tampa, I really didn't do anything because I rolled right into Fort Lauderdale prep and then prepped for all of the time, and so I didn't really. And again, I am not the best controlled, so for me to refeed, it almost has to be written, or I can fall off. I call it into the abyss, and I kind of doggy paddle for a hot second out in the ocean, and it's not good. It's not good for my brain. It's not good for my body, and I get so derailed that I don't call them cheat meals. I call them refeeds, and that sounds like a competitor does. I was gonna say it sounds crazy, but most people that compete in physique competitions, you've got to have so much discipline and just have a plan and stick to your plan.
Yeah, I remember a while back. I told you about the care package thing. I made a care package for a lady I did an interview with, and I sent it to her. I said, "Yo, you get your care package." Say, "Oh, is it something in there?" Because my coach says my cheat meal week. I said, "No, I don't have no food in there." But I told her next time when your birthday comes up, I'll send you a package for your birthday. And I sent it to her. She was so happy. It was like
Oh, that's
cookies and this and that. She said, "Oh God, this is like thank you, George, because I mean, like So I said, say the words for eat. I eat just later. Whoa."
Hang on.
Oh, we're back with her. Right here, we
How
got
looks
my man. Excuse me. We got my man, KL the Wanderer. Hey, what up? Thank you, brother, for coming through. Go check out, man.
What's
He's
happening?
KL the Wanderer. Also, KL Dog Against Nature. You can go check out his channel. He does interviews. Oh, we got lost connection. She'll be back in a minute. We'll give her a bit, folks. My man KL's also. He just dropped here. KL, aka the Wanderer, aka Joker, aka George, aka the Wanderer, aka Joker, aka Carl Winslow. Hey man, enough of that Carl Winslow shit. Don't be hating. Carl Winslow was a great dad. Let me see. I think she's coming back in. Let me add her. I can still hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened.
It might be something with your connection.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
plug that in?
yeah. Is it the boys there?
That's exactly who's doing it for me. You're so funny. I've got Millie.
Uh-oh, she's out again. Uh, you know, yeah. It happens sometimes, folks. KL laughing at me, man. You shouldn't be laughing at anybody, KLA. It happens. Um, I'm gonna tell her like this. Let me bring her in here. Okay. Uh, Wait a minute. We got it again.
Goodness gracious. Oh,
Okay.
they're in.
Well, let me see. Yeah, yeah.
This is
If you want
everyone.
to keep talking, keep talking. I've done it with a lady where I couldn't see her.
Sorry about that. Not sure what happened.
Don't apologize. It's all right. It's technology.
Right?
Yeah, it could be something with your camera. Just click the thing that says "stop camera" right there in the bottom of the dashboard,
It
and it should
says,
yeah it says "stop camera." It should bring you in. Wait a minute. It should get the connection.
sorry about that. If you want to slap up a picture, we can finish the interview with the picture up there.
Well, let me see. Like I said, let me see. Let me find something. Solo layout. Let me see.
I have no idea what could have happened.
Oh, wait a minute. This is no solo layout. I would say. I don't know how to do this. I do. I'm still. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me find something here.
Back to Instagram and just kind of put a picture up. Sorry about that, George. I'm not sure what happened.
That's all right. All you got to do if you can we can still keep talking because it's not the first time I had talked with somebody without seeing them. We can still have a good conversation.
Having issues. We would do
Yeah.
that. Hmm.
It's crazy with YouTube, folks. My man, KLA saying, "I'm laughing at your comment with Carl Winslow." Yeah, you can laugh at my comment, Carl Winslow, but I'm not no Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow made more money I did. I'm broke. I'm broke, man. I'm broke. Like my man Shea Pell. But yeah, it's about the sport. It is a lot to go to. I mean, between the diets, between the workouts, between everything else, and then I know when your kids were younger, and they were coming up, they say, "Mommy, I want some chicken nuggets," and and then you're on your prep and you're dying and say, "Yo, wait a minute, we lost her again. We might try to get her back in." We got a man, Lawrence Perkins. Good evening, Miss Toni, George, everyone in the chat. Good evening to my man Lawrence. Thank you. I don't know what's going on. Like I say, we had her. She's still here, and there she goes again, and she's still here, but I don't know what's the issues going on with it. It might be just something with the camera or something. If it's your phone, are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on my computer, and I don't think I've ever used this camera before. So, I guess I could switch to my phone.
If you want to, that'd be fine. I can sit here and just talk to the people while they're sitting here. While you take your time to switch your phone, click at the link. So that's easy to meet. So you just come on your phone. So folks, we got here also KLA. Saying you do look like with the haircut and to wear the cop uniform. You know what, KL? You want to start some shit. You want to be starting something. Like Michael Jackson. You want to be starting something? Want me starting something? Also, he says, use your phone. Yeah, and KL said he also agreed use your phone because if that's why I say if you feel comfortable with your phone or your computer, which one ever works. But while you can still talk with us, there we go. I think we got her.
All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, hang on.
Right.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Thank you. Welcome back. That's the thing about technology. I was in an interview, and then I had problems, and then it's just crazy. But like I said, it's just the sport is a lot of time and work you got to put into it. And I feel like I said, I still feel that there should be more benefits for your competitors, and also the money. If you look at men's bodybuilding, and if you know anything about the pimping culture, men's bodybuilding is the bottom bitch of is they're the ones everybody come see. Then y'all ladies, you do a show, and the guys would get maybe $40,000 for a show,
Right.
and you switch over to the women, you be lucky. I know Margie Martin said how the Tampa when Chelsea won, she got $3,000, and it was like before that it was $5,000.
Right. Right. I don't understand how kind of how the money works, but the way that you would think is who is putting butts in seats is who is going to be rewarded. And when they put all the shows together, I think it's you look at the social media followers, and honestly, you look at the social media followers of the big boys, and they're huge. I mean, the girls have been following also. Again, I'm not sure how it goes, but I do know that typically, yeah, women are not. You look at the purse of any big show, and it's not. I mean, you can't compare like the 10th place, winner for the guy is making as much as the first place for the female. So yeah, it's a little skewed. Me and the camera are just not getting along, George. Oh my God. Okay.
That's all right. We get together. But I know one thing is because with men's bodybuilding, their fan base is much broader.
Right.
You break it down this, and this is how you break it down. The man fan base is going to be guys who are fan of bodybuilding.
Right.
Then the other part would be guys who are come say come sa, who are fans of male bodybuilders. You might have a little bit of women here and there who like guys with muscles. But with you ladies, your fan base is mostly men. And because there's a fetish to it. Like that's why a lot of the ladies.
But hopefully that's not all of the fan base, right? I know I'm a huge fan of it, and I am not a schmo. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm a schmo, so but
Great.
but ever since I start doing this, use interviews, use content, I really got education what you ladies to go through and what you do. That's why on my channel I dedicate a lot more to you ladies than I do to men. Because if you go to YouTube, there's like 11 million channels dedicated mostly to the guys. There's only a handful of us that are give you women's attention. There's the female bodybuilding channel. They just started up today. There's a guy named by the name is Dave. He's from a female bodybuilding forum. There's Ryan and DJ on the spot. There's myself, and there's a couple others. And my man KL, he also does interviews and with bodybuilders. But like I say, because of that, the fetish, that's the way some of the ladies make their money. I know you don't do it because you're taking your responsibility.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll tell you what, the first show, and this was years ago. This was like, what year was this? Maybe 09? God bless America. Was it 08? Maybe 08. Anyway, I did Red River in Oklahoma, and they allowed you to cross categories for $40. I was like, yay. So I did fitness, figure, and bodybuilding in the same show. Every time I was on stage, I had my hair different. So when I was in figure, it was down. When I was in fitness, I had a ponytail. And then bodybuilding, I had it like up in a scrunch, and I had different suits every time I was on stage. And when I got off stage, it was my first time to bodybuild. When I got off stage, the attention from bodybuilding, the guys, okay. The bikini and the bikini fans and the bodybuilding fans of men are different human beings, and I learned that when I started bodybuilding. I was like, oh, that's different. Okay, I'll give you $1,000 to wrestle. You're like, whoa, hang on a minute, hang on a second. So it's kind of funny when you don't even realize it. And I am not naive, but I am. Hey, everything's going to be great. Hey, that's not what this is, that's not what they're looking for. And so it's kind of funny when you're like, oh, that's surprising. Hang on. So yeah, bodybuilding fans are a little different for the muscle category fans.
Yeah, with bikini, with those divisions like bikini, because it's more stereotypical what they see in women femininity. Tall, long legs, big jugs, like that, tight little butts. And then with your women, muscles, built, broad. There's a small saying. I heard this years ago when I used to be on this message board with guys, and we talk about bodybuilding. And one guy said, "When your legs rock hard, we'll rock hard." And it's just about it's just I'm from the South, and I grew up with women who were like my sisters. My mother was thick, healthy women, large women. I used to work in a strip club. I was around a lot of women who were with certain body, but then something about y'all women with your muscles and your bodies is just something different. Like when I got to bodybuilding, was my brother. He was a football. He used to play football here in our hard time. He was a football star. He used to collect the muscle mags, like Muscle Fitness, Iron Man, Flex, all of them. I used to like look as a kid because I grew up a good part of the '80s. What popular cartoons back then? He-Man and Thundercats, and
Right.
and those were like heroes to us little kids. Wrestling stuff like was really big back then. And then something about y'all women, it was just something different. My brothers, and my nephews, they weren't into like that, but me, I don't know. Maybe I was wired different than them, but I just found something like people like Beth Francis, Laura Craval, Linda
Beautiful,
Murray. Those women just
beautiful.
it was just amazing. And just the bodies, how you could transform your body, taking something more people would think is soft and feminine and make it rock hard and shapely and just
That's what's funny.
masculine.
People think it's gross, and people think it's manly, and it's not at all. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and you see these bodies, especially at this level. This level is absolutely off the chain. I chuckle because I'll see these ladies backstage, and I'll see them on stage, and I'll be standing right next to them, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I'll get off stage, and I'll see my husband, and he's like, oh my god. I'm like, I know. I know. He's like, they're awesome, and I'm like, I know. It's so wild. Again, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't go to these shows, and I never think gross. I just don't really understand that. It's just such a beautiful shape. So much discipline, and of course all of that is respectful, but when you see them again in real life, in the flesh, it's awesome.
My first time I got to see a female bodybuilder was a while back. This guy named Glenn Young Senior. He got a new magazine called Amazon Fitness. He through a lady who I'm acquainted with. He reached out to me, and then he was doing a magazine, or he was doing a research project for a magazine. I get to meet some women in sport about it. A lady by the name of Marianne Wachowski, I made an interview with. Amanda Schnooks, a couple of ladies who were amateurs and pros. And for me, watching ladies on TV or looking at magazines and see you on the internet, get to see you in person. It was just something that kind of blowed my mind. And then when I went to Savannah, I mean, get to see these ladies. I was right there. I was right in the VIP section.
Oh
Linda
yeah,
Murray was up front. She smiled at me. I
she's
got
awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing. Got to see. I got to take a picture with Lena Popa. Um, I got to meet Annie Revicchio, who was a big fan of when I was coming up, was in the bodybuilding thing. Donna Salee, one lady I did not speak about her name because I'm not a fan of hers, but what she did, and get to meet some of these ladies, and I even saw Amy at that show. I wish I had talked to her, but I was kind of like in my little bubble. I was kind of shy, I was just kind of awe about this and being there my first time, but it was just great. My man KL says, don't forget Shira. I didn't watch Shira that much, and she wasn't that muscular. Also, my man here, KL, hey, you don't knock us guys for liking you women. We don't, we do, and we will. And who will? Yeah. And also, he says, I wish female bodybuilding was on TV. A lot of people do
Yeah.
too. And then he says also, when your ladies are rock hard, we're rock hard. And also he says, when he says also is this, says like there should be women fans too because a lot of women are doing bodybuilding with or without competitions. Yeah, and I think this is what I said about you. You talk about the guy offer you $1,000 to rescue. This is what I believe, and this is one thing because if the guy's got money like that, that would be good money to sponsor a competitor.
Oh
Because one
right.
thing,
That's
yeah,
fine.
because if you think about it, other than bikini and maybe most definitely wellness and a few of the fitness girls, it's hard for your ladies to get sponsors. Just recently, Wings of Strength, they decided to end their ambassador program. It said they're supposed to start something
Oh, I
up.
didn't know.
Yeah, and I know. I think about. I mean, a while back, Alina Popo said that she had girls with bikini and physique to want to be part of it. But the thing is, this was created. Jake created this for women's bodybuilding.
Yes, women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, because they needed a stage. Back after this is one. This is one of my favorite quotes.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite folks from one of my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when back in 2014, when they pushed out the women's body from Olympia or basically how I say it like this, how they walked quiet behind them and stabbed in the heart, and and it took them out of bodybuilding. It was hard for them to have a stage, but Jake Wood and his wife at the time, they gave ladies a stage, and it's kind of like it's coming back bit by bit.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's back in Olympia is again fantastic. I thought it was so strange when it was taken out. It's scary. It's scary to think, oh, they're what, not marketable. They've become what they were told to do to be successful in the sport. So I'm excited to see them back in. And again, Mela, and I know I keep tuning her horn, but she when she went from figure to physique and then physique to bodybuilding, and again when you see the quality of the muscle, the depth of the muscle bellies, and the bodies are just amazing. And so it's exciting to see. You see Andrea and you're like, wow. Where did I see her? I think Fort Lauderdale. We saw Andrea in Fort Lauderdale, and we were in the elevator, and it was funny because there's a lot of regular people in the elevator, and she sees me see her, and like my face kind of lights up, and then like normal humans get out, and she just slides over to me to take a picture. I was like, yay, thank you. Just again, amazing, beautiful physiques. And I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? But I'm proud that they're back in Olympia, and happy to see women's bodybuilding making a comeback. And again, I feel like everybody kind of belongs in their category. And so if you love to train, you ain't going to hang out in bikini for long. You're going to become a figure girl. And if you like to train big and bad, you're going to become, you are going to evolve into. And if your DNA wants to grow, you're going to grow, and you're going to land where you land. I was excited when women's physique was born. I felt like I fit better there than women's bodybuilding, and certainly better than fitness or figure. So it's exciting to have it. And they used to say women's physique is not for bodybuilding. Bodybuilders, this class is not for you. This is for our hard figure girls. When I look up, it looks pretty bodybuilder-y to me. But I think it's perfect. I think it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah, because I got to see Andrea compete at Savannah when she get guest posted with her and Mona Persile. And just to see her, even though I just up on stage and just like I'm a fan of Andrea Shaw. And also mentioned Mela Ash. She reminds me of a bodybuilder that I was a fan of back then. That's Vicky Gates.
Yes,
Vicky had those. They both had those pretty eyes. Like I'm gonna show Chris. I'm gonna show some pictures of Mela real quick because Mela, she's awesome. Amazing. I mean,
yeah, she's awesome.
She's I know one lady who's friends with her, and they talk about her. She told me, say, you think you can try to say, well, I sent her requests by interviews, but I know she's a busy lady. She's training, she's working. I know a while back she worked in a training camp with Rachel Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were doing posing out of a gym in Dallas. I'm trying to get her to come to Stroud's to do posing. Trying to get Sheila Brown to come to Stroud's to do posing. Texas is so full of who's who. It's pretty cool to be here.
Yeah, I remember Sheila Brown back in the day when she was competing in bodybuilding, and she switched over to physique. Now she's working behind the scenes and promoting. This is like Mela drinking a little drink, and she's she is like my quote man Joker. She is beautiful.
She is. Again, that human being in real life, you're like, holy crap! when you see her, it is amazing to just see her physique and to see what she looks like in real life. You're like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. My man KL says, yeah, I see women with muscles on the street. Okay, that's cool. This is my man, Combo Breaker 99. Combo Breaker! He does MMA talk. He's a big fan of bodybuilding. His favorite bodybuilder is Shannon Seeley. I know you like Shannon, I pick up about it, and he said, great conversation. We also have here is David Bryant. I agree about the physique being just right for you for Tony. And thank you, David. And I think I've done interviews with ladies with physique, but like I said again, physique is now. I think it's the vision that's feeding women's bodybuilding. And we talk about Mr. Tyke and Ashley Jones. Just saw that the Sanka Dolphin was it.
Oh, Dee Dee, good grief. You want to talk about an awesome human being. Holy mackerel. Dee Dee is awesome. Dasunka, she'd come out with Trish Warren and train at Strauss, and just to see that quality of muscle is absolutely amazing. Just awesome.
I think somebody told me that she had that. I think I was watching when she made her announcement and they posted it on Female Body Channel. Somebody said she had that. Now Margie Martin's retiring. She has that Margie vibe to her. And
she's got such a great physique. Dasunka Dawson's got when you watch her on stage, can't take your eyes off of her. Absolutely awesome. So when I heard that, I was excited. Again, I thought she was awesome in physique, so think she'll be even better in bodybuilding. Hopefully she gets rewarded. I just think she's awesome competitor.
I think it's a good move for her because I think she can compete for a while. She's I think the last time I competed was before that was, I think it was back in 2019, 2020.
No, she did Miami. She did Miami in 21, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I know she was one of the last women.
Not Miami, Tampa.
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 Okay. I know she was one of the last women to compete at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic for the pusher division out. And Arnold once again walked behind the two women's divisions and stabbed Crowley in the heart. And and it's just, it's even though I would say like this, your division still has more shows, but it seems like it's getting a little smaller and smaller. It seems like there's some shows that won't even have women's physique onto it. I know Steve Weinberger, who's Bear Francis' husband, who Bear Francis changed to bodybuilding back in the day. They're cutting out these shows. And then I remember when I talked about earlier how Lena, more of the women said they wanted to be part of Women's Stream. And I was talking about this. You know what? Because physique is getting to the point of almost women's bodybuilding, and they're getting that same stink eye as women's bodybuilding. I think it would have been smart if they enfolded women's bodybuilding. You got to think about it. If you have people like Sarah Vilgus and Andrea Shaw, the two Miss Olympias on the women's stream, roster, I think it would really promote maybe getting more people into bodybuilding. My man David Bryant said the soccer has the best quads shake. He must have started live in person. And it's just
beautiful physique. When you look at when you look at a physique and you see and it sounds silly, but each division kind of has different parts. Everybody is a human, and but as you see it develop, it's just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, folks, we are having a great a conversation with the lovely Miss Toni McMurtre. I know I can hear the background. I think her husband must be working the dishes or something like that.
That's Miller Cooking. That is my my third one that started bodybuilding last year because the boy has to eat, so he is up here cooking. He's constantly cooking. It's awesome.
Come over and give him a minute. So let's say hello to the boy.
Come here, Mel. He got a job at the vitamin shop this year, so for Christmas everybody got vitamins. It was great. It's nice prepping with a kid that works there.
yeah, look at it. Look, he's showing off the guns. So son, what was it like when your mom was when your mom's prepping? What's it like? Y'all both now in the business together. How it feels?
It's a lot of food going in and out of the house. I'll have to say that. There's always someone in the kitchen.
Yeah, you got three brothers, and I grew up. Me, my older brother, my younger brother, my two nephews. I can understand. My mom she had to feed 5 boys, and she had to feed 4 boys. And plus a man, and that's a lot.
It is a lot of food. It is. It's funny, but it's neat because to walk up and I'm like, to have 2 portions of salmon and to see him cooking, I'm like, oh my God, dude, cook me one, please. It's great. It's great.
That's good that your son. My mama taught me and my older brother and my second oldest nephew how to cook. My younger brother and my oldest nephew, they can't cook to save their life. I usually cook. And son, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You have a girlfriend?
I do, yes.
Okay, son, you're done.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, she competed at the Johnny Jackson Classic last year and did phenomenal. They both did. It was so much fun. So much fun. I never thought I'd be a stage mom. I was like, I need to chill out and not be a stage mom. Oh my God, I was literally on the stage.
Yeah, we appreciate you for coming through, tell your little story for us, and good luck to you in the future. I know you got some cooking, so go ahead and go and fish in your job. Okay? All right. Yeah. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. He's good.
Yes.
He's number 2.
They are all
He's the middle, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
He's
I'm
number 3.
I'm the middle son, and you know what? This is how it works. Like the firstborn, that's fathers. Baby, that's mother. But the middle, we have to fight for our love. We got to fight for our love. We got to fight for our love.
Our
We got
fourth
a
one's
man,
gotta fight for his life.
David Bryant. The soccer has the best quad shake. I think you always said that. Also, did you know that soccer has a famous aunt? Who is her aunt? I mean,
Flojo, baby.
What?
Yeah.
D. Florence Griffith Jonah?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yeah. No, I mean that's pretty.
Wow. That means she's adjacent. She's also adjacent related to Jackie Jonah Kersey, because that's her uncle-in-law's sister. Wow.
Okay, maybe that's
This is something that's wow. I mean, this is something that It's kind of blew my mind. I know because I was a big fan of Flojo. She has an amazing body, a great woman.
I mean, DNA, baby, DNA.
I mean, it was sad that when she passed. I mean, but she was just amazing. She was just a record breaker. I mean, some of her records are still standing today after almost over 30 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but folks, like I said, this is a great conversation, and I enjoyed it with this lady. But I know she just got off from work. She got to eat. You gotta feed them.
I've got to go pick up groceries, actually.
Yeah, and and that's the thing about a mom. Mom always gonna have to, say, "Mom, what's cooking for dinner, Mom?
What's for dinner?" And I'm like, "Dinner."
Yes, say, go get your own food. You're grown. You got one nearly 30, one already 21, one to go to college. You gotta take care of yourself. That's my job, to take care of you. But like I say, it's a boy best friend is his mother, and we love our mothers. I mean, I miss mine. It's been about almost going to be a little over 2 years since mine's passed, and it just my mother. To quote my mother, she went through a lot, and we'll quote my man again. My father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never liked it, not one bit. Why so serious, son? Why so serious? It just, and like I said, we love our moms. And in the last few years, bodybuilding, there's a lot more women like yourself who have kids, who have mothers, who come to sport. Back in the day, weren't that many. I think I could think of only maybe 3 or 4 off the top of my hand. People like Krista Bach, who had like 2 or 3 kids. Diane Diaz had 4 or 5 kids. There was Yaxenia King, the first Miss Olympia that was a bomb. And then you had I think Michelle Brent, who we got to see compete at Savannah, who's like 65 years old and still in good condition for her age. And and it's just about that, how you ladies, when you get to that point in your age where when the younger girls, they're still coming up, but when you ladies hit your muscle maturity, you're just amazing.
I was gonna say the scarier ones are the older ones. You think youth is king, and this sport, your more mature bodies are your better bodies. I mean, you're like, wow. Again, a master show, you'd never know. If they didn't have masters, you wouldn't realize it. You're like, my God, everyone looks so awesome.
Yeah, while I was at Savannah, I got to talk with not Hella Trevino, with Irene Anderson, and she was amazing. Just we were talking about Hella Trevino, and and she was just amazing to talk to that lady, and just we talked for a good minute, and just we talked about how Hella's doing. She looked good. I think she should have did the master show. She probably would have won that. She could have won. She did both. She did just the open show, but I think now that with the master show coming up, I think she might be competing in Romania. And I know some ladies say that it's hard to get some competitors because a lot of competitors, especially American competitors, don't want to go out of the country to compete.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it's tough traveling in the United States to compete, let alone to another country. I mean, I'd imagine everything from your water, which is so important in this sport. I could see it. I could see it being nerve-wracking. Tougher, definitely, but exciting, but definitely tougher.
Yeah, and I think there's one thing. I think some competitors, will feel comfortable, even though you have easy to go here and go. I know one lady told me like she was in great condition, but then she went and had to go over here, and then she flat out. And that's the tough part about that. You put in all this work in your time, and you say, okay, I look ready, I look great, I'm shredded, I'm in conditioning. Go to a show and say, wait a minute, what happened?
Oh, absolutely. Anything from stressed, anything can happen. And you're like, what is going on? Yeah. It's nerve-wracking. You know what? I got to, when I got to Fort Lauderdale and I looked at the competitor list and my name was not on any list. And I was like, oh my God. And that's nerve-wracking. And I call Mela and I'm trying to stay cool. Or I text Mela and I'm trying to stay cool. And she's like, she calls me immediately. And she's like, stay calm. Like, don't just stay calm. Like, I'm calm. Because it was, I think, Thursday when I looked at the list, but had to, email IFBB and kind of make sure that my contract, and it was, and I did send it in, and it was, I just kind of fell through the cracks, and stuff happens in its life, but how easily that can derail you, even though you're completely prepared, Yeah, but no, it's crazy. Hey, George, I do have to wrap up, though, because I got to get groceries in 15 minutes.
Okay. One last thing we say, what would you change about the sport of bodybuilding that you think that needs to be changed?
Wow, that's a great question. That is a great question. I don't know. I really like the evolution of it, and I do like what's happened to it. I do like the access to the sport. I feel like what I would have changed years ago is happening now. That's a great question. We're gonna have to talk again because I'm gonna have to think on that one.
Yeah.
I know while I'm at shows, sometimes I have things that I'm like, hey, I wish this was like that. But honestly, this year I didn't really have that. So I gotta think on that one, George, and I gotta call you back on that. We'll touch base again on that.
Well, folks, like I said, we don't hold up the lovely Miss McMurtre, and you gotta go out. But here's the thing I want to say to you out there: if you're someone interested in sponsoring a lady like Toni to see her go to the next level, show your interest. Don't be like this guy saying, Toni, you're a pretty chick, you got, you think he's no. Don't be asking some weird stuff. Be like this, Mrs. McMurtre. My name is such. I want to see you involved to your next level. I want to see you grow as a competitor. Whatever you need from me, I have no problem helping you with it. All I want to see is get to the next level and be successful. And that's what we need in the sport of bodybuilding. We need ladies who can use sponsorship. Anything can help them out. Maybe knock a few dollars off their next trip. Maybe pay for the tickets to a show. Maybe
pay for makeup. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, whatever you can do as a fan. Because I know these guys, hey, if you're willing to throw $1,000 to wrestle a chick, you can use that $1,000 to give it to a straight.
Oh my God, you're crazy. That's so funny, George.
It's true. But anyway, folks, we'd like to thank her and we appreciate your time. You have anybody you want to shout out to while you're here before we let you go?
My husband, my family, Stroud's Fitness, Mela Ash, which I think I've enough. Again, everybody, that IFBB, the NPC, all the rage, George Page. So thank you so much for having me. You are awesome. It's been fun. Thank you, George.
Well, I got a quote. I say it's because I do a lot of quotes, a lot of movies like that. And it's again, in Batman again says when Jim Gordon said to Batman says, I forgot to thank you. And Batman turns around and says, you never have to. I do this because you ladies need recognition and recognize just as much as any competitor, man or woman. You need to deserve this because you put as much in the sport as you deserve, and you should get as much back out of it.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're always welcome. So, folks, we appreciate Mrs. McMurtre for her time. We wish her best of luck this upcoming season. Her shirt, the Stroud's Fitness. If you can, send me the link and I'll post it in the IG.
I will. Thank you. And then I'll see you guys at the OCC in May in Shreveport.
So good luck in Shreveport, But folks, like I said again, check out her social media stuff description. I'm gonna say this one to these guys, and you hard-headed. I know, you see her beautiful when she gets on stage, you see her, she's pumped, she's shredded, you get excited about her. Don't do it. No DPIC. Stop it. Think about this. No woman wants to
killing me, George. You are killing me.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But folks, like I said, we do appreciate it. We like to thank my man KL, the Wanderer, my man Collar Baker 99, my man Wallow. He just came through. Hey there, everyone. Appreciate you, brother. And we appreciate y'all for coming here. Support these ladies in sport of bodybuilding. See as you get next level and next mission. And if you're someone genuine, sponsor, step up. Use these opportunity. Give them the tools to get to the next level in the competition. All right. So thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Feed the kids. Take care of yourself. And we talk later. Anyway, Miss Man always your page, aka the Emperor. If you're about me talk, don't subscribe. We're out. Good night and good evening and good luck.
Thank you. Bye, George.
Bye.